Let's turn the hardest feelings and the everyday care tasks into moments that strengthen connection and confidence for families. Hi, I'm your host Alexandria, and in this video I sit down with Sacher, the Regional Director of Programming and Strategic Partnerships at Fox Trail Memory Care, to talk about family moments that matter in dementia care. Keep on watching. Can you talk a little bit about the guilt and denial that families often struggle with?
Absolutely. Guilt is love with nowhere to go. And so let's give it a path. And we'll take the opportunity to talk about denial as well, as it's important to plan before a major crisis happens. So you may ask, why is it important? And I hear that a lot. Supported families partner better. Residents feel safer. We have fewer emergencies, which is always key. And we have kinder daily care. All of those things together are really important. So when we're talking about guilt and denial, it's important to normalize the guilt. You're not failing, you're adjusting. You're adjusting to the level of support. Understanding denial is just as important. And being proactive and using it as a caring tool can be really important for us. And we talk about empathy and meeting this denial with empathy and not necessarily a debate, which is easy to do when you're speaking with someone with dementia.
Yeah.
It's very easy to get into the debate. So we try not to do that. But we also have these gentle reality checks as well. And this is when we are able to use specific recent examples: falls, missed meds, wandering, things like that, sleepless nights. It allows us to pivot from an emotional place to a place of safety. And then understanding the language that we can use. So we borrow these certain terms, and it's choosing our words wisely can really make all the difference in the world when you're communicating with someone living with dementia.
Right.
So saying things like, "You've done so much, and you're still doing the right thing by planning next steps." This isn't giving up, it's building a team. So finding people around you to have that support and love is really important.
How do we secure a safe place before a crisis?
Yeah, that's a great question. So when I'm talking to families, I talk a lot about proactive planning and how reframing the word placement as prevention. So you're looking at things through a bit of a different lens, one that can help you choose a memory care community before there's a crisis or a traumatic event. So whether there's been a fall or hospitalization or an elopement, having a safety strategy in place is always key. So if and when that time comes, then you have an action plan ready and waiting to go. And then creating a safe space is really important as well. And what does a safe space mean? Some people don't really understand, what that means. It can mean a lot of things. It's 24-hour care, right, with trained care staff around the clock, a secure design. The home and environment that your loved one is in is secure, and it's designed for someone living with dementia. There's predictable outcomes. So that is one really important thing that we can do for someone living with dementia, is make things very predictable. And you're taking all the mystery out of their day. Helps really decrease the risk of behaviors and the severity of the behaviors. Med coordination also in a safe place is really important, as well as real-time family communication. And all of those things together really do help us when we're planning for the future. Creating a quick, pre-crisis checklist, if you will, is another key thing to do. These are some action items that you're able to do ahead of time when you're planning, and that starts with maybe touring some communities. A lot of people don't know what's out there. They don't know what's available. Sometimes when you just get a visual on something, and then you're like, okay, I can see my loved one here or not. And if not, then you go to another place and you find something that feels warm and inviting, and something that can really be a perfect, solution for you when and if the time comes. But definitely identifying a preferred community. I also suggest preparing a life story or this is me kind of profile for your loved one. This really does allow for the care partner or community that you've chosen to really get to know your loved one, in an intimate way. They know what they like, what they dislike, they know their favorite foods, they know how to help reduce behaviors and agitation when those things happen. So those profiles are really important in getting to know the person living with dementia. Having a small to-go bag. So if something does happen, remember, traumatic events are never planned, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I wish they were, but a lot of times they're not. So when you're thinking ahead and having something packed and ready to go can also just sort of ease the stress. So you just grab what you have, take it, and you're ready to go. This could be a sweater, familiar photos, a favorite blanket, something that are going to bring comfort to your loved one. And then what are some of the favorites? It could be a playlist, a favorite song, a special snack. Pack all these things, in your comfort bag, and you'll be ready and set to go.
How can we add dignity to people's daily care?
Starting with their ADLs, or activities of daily living, is a great start. So you may work on sequencing cues, warmth, pacing, and privacy and modesty, which sometimes we forget about, is also really important when it comes to persons living with dementia. And giving them yes choices, right? So giving choices, allowing them to have still some independence in their day, really can help reduce unwanted behaviors and improve their quality of life, because they're going to be happier and feel that they still have a little bit of control in their day. Some simple carryovers that work while you're giving care during ADLs. A few ideas that have been really helpful that I've noticed are maybe creating like a comfy place, a calming corner where you've got soft lighting, not a lot of ambient noise, there's not a lot of sensory stimulation. It really does allow them a place to be where they can recenter. Who doesn't love a comfy chair and some nice family photos? You could have a personalized playlist, and I would have this ready for giving self-care, maybe at meal times. When you find that you need a little bit of extra help when trying to do a difficult task, music is everything and can make all the difference in the world. So having a nice playlist of their favorite songs ready to go is super helpful. And let's not forget choices. Offer coffee or tea, a blue mug versus a red mug. Give them some choices, allow them to feel some sort of control in their day, which with persons living with Alzheimer's or dementia, they can tend to feel that they have little to no control over their day. So being really mindful of that and giving people this opportunity to have this autonomy and speak for themselves and do things for themselves. Always give them that opportunity first. And visual cues are also important. I know for us even, having a visual on something is really helpful. So having contrasting plates so people can see, tell the difference between what's on their plate and it's not all blended in to the same color. That goes for bathrooms as well. Mm-hmm. If everything is white, if your walls are white, your floor is white, and your toilet is white, then they can't really see where the toilet is. So again, what we know to be, we see things is it's easy, right? We don't really live in this world and see things the way that they do. So contrast is very important when it comes to visualization. Photo labels on drawers and spaces where they keep things is really important too. Labels can help guide them and help wayfinding a little bit easier. And then when it comes to safety basics, we want to keep safety in mind as well. So when it comes to alarms on your door and the bed, where appropriate, night lighting, med organizers, a wandering plan if your loved one does elope, then what is your action plan? What have you set in place to help find your loved one in a very quick, fast way?
Yeah.
Identifying some respite opportunities and options. As a lot of people, again, they don't realize what things are available. There are a lot of resources for respite care, and which gives you a break and allows your loved one to have some socialization, which is really important. But there's so much out there. You've got adult day programs. You have short stay respite care in most communities. Your local Alzheimer's Association can also give you great tips and tricks on how to help your loved one living with Alzheimer's and dementia.
What advice do you have for families?
The best advice I could give is don't wait for a crisis, plan now. Be proactive, think ahead, and have your action plan ready to go. It doesn't take much to get something in place. Schedule a tour at a local community around you, maybe even fill out some paperwork because that can take up a lot of time. Have your to-go bag ready with a few favorite things in that bag. And also you want to try and think about putting the person over a procedure. You don't want things to be rushed. When you're in an emergency, there's some kind of crisis or traumatic event, the last thing you want to do is think about, what do I do next? If that's already done and you have pre-planned that out, it should be a much easier transition getting from step A to step B. Maybe something that you could do today, in the moment, is pick one proactive step that you would take in case of a crisis or some traumatic event, and choose one home care technique that fits you and your loved one. Choices at meals, choices when it's time for self-care, allowing them to feel more a part of the process and that their opinions and their choices matter. Small dignities and early planning can change everything.